All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're actually going to be tackling a fun subject of building on a budget, right? And this is going to be a four-part series. It's going to be, today and then the next 3 days. We're going to be covering 4 different decks altogether. And the first one up is going to be Red Purple Law. Red Purple Law is a very strong deck in the current format in OP-07, and we know it's also very strong at OP-08. So this is a leader that I thought, let's tackle this one first and build it on a budget for new players who are trying to come into the game. The next 3 decks we're going to cover, in no particular order, I don't know which order I want to do it in yet, but we're going to knock out Bonnie on a budget, Lucci on a budget, and then Katakuri. Enel is not really an option, unfortunately. Enel is something very different. And the same thing with like Black Yellow Luffy. Those are both yellow decks if you think about it. Yes, there's some black cards in Luffy, Black Yellow Luffy. But instead of going down that route, because of the nature of how budget decks work and because of the nature of how those decks work, Enel and Black Yellow Luffy, for the budget list, I'm going to swap over to Katakuri for the players who are interested in that. That'll probably be the last one that I do. Okay, but anyway, that's what we're going to be going over today. We're going to be building Red Purple Law on a budget in today's list. And when I say budget, I do have to explain. I think it'll be in the thumbnail, but it's going to be building these decks for under $100. I understand everyone's on a different budget. Excuse me. I mean, there might be some people who are like, hey, I can't even buy a deck over 50 bucks. Well, in that case, check out my Red Green Oden video, because that is a deck you can build for under $50. At least at the time he's saying this, I don't know how card prices are going to fluctuate, but that is a deck list that's extremely cheap. And I'll link that in the comment section below for those who are interested. But today, guys, we got Red Purple Law lined up. Right, guys, let me give you a quick layout for the entire video, though, because we're, as usual, we're going to tackle way more than just one thing. The major part of this video will be budgeting Red Purple Law, but we also got a few other things lined up. Like, first up, we're going to hop over to the lab, and we're going to check out a Red Purple Luffy versus Lucci, game. And this is one of the videos that was submitted by the community, and I'm going to talk over it and tell you guys what I think. That one's going to be a lot of fun. Then we're going to hop over and check out the West and East meta and kind of see how Red Purple Law is doing. Spoiler warning, it's doing incredibly well. It's considered S tier in both, the West and the East for OP-07 and OP-08. So it's a very, very high level deck. Okay, then we're going to go do 3 games on the sim featuring this budget version of Red Purple Law that I recommend. Okay, and before we even get into that, I'm going to show the list off on Limitless TCG and show you the price of it and all that good stuff. Okay, then we're going to hop over and do a deck analysis and breakdown to finish it up. And in that portion, I'll try to explain like what cards you need to upgrade first, things to look out for or trade for or whatever. And then we'll finish off with an art critique. Okay, so we got a full plate today, guys. We got a lot on our plate. We got to get through this. So let's dive straight in. So first up, like I said, we're calling this new segment the lab. This, maybe call it the VV lab, but I just like the lab for short, where we actually talk about games submitted by the community. Okay, so let me set it up real quick, guys. This will just take a second. I got to put on the sim overlay. There we go. All right, now we're good to go. So here we go, guys. First game up here. This is Red Purple Luffy versus Lucci. Okay, and this is an OP-07, of course. Though it is on the sim and currently on the sim, there might be a few. Whoops, let me pause this. Sorry, guys. I got to move my face cam. I just realized that. And this is not the VV theory, so I'll have to cover up my name down here. There we go. This is not me playing. This is something that a viewer sent in on the Discord. Okay, now we're good to go. The volume, or excuse me, speed's at 2x, volume is off. Now this person only could record at 720p, so the quality will be a little bit lower. Okay, now on to the game. The Lucci player is going second. The Red Purple Law player goes first. He swings for 6. That's proper sequencing. Plays out the Zoro. This thing's probably going away, but maybe not. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what the Lucci player can pull off here. Okay, they're going to play out a Khalifa, so they can't get rid of the Zoro this turn. That is a very, very good start to the game, right? That is a really good thing. There's one more thing I wanted to add. There we go. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get this down just right. You know what I mean? Sorry about that, guys. All right, we're good to go. Now, back to the game. So they're going to swing. Okay, sorry, guys. I missed an entire turn there because of that. So now for the Red Purple Luffy's turn, they're going to be able to swing with Zoro and ramp a Dawn. That's a very good thing, right? This is a very, very good thing. They're going to swing for 6. Let's see what kind of answer is given. They're going to take it, and that ramps a Dawn. Now they get to play out a 4-cost Bon Cray Bentham to ramp another Dawn, and now we're coming in for 7. And that Bon Carré is threatening, like, hey, I dare you to play a big character next turn, because I'm gonna smash into it, or I'm gonna be able to smash into your face with a huge character. Okay, let's see if the Lucci decides to 2K 1K. I think that is the right play to 2K 1K here. It's not fun having to do that, but it was the right call. Now, if I'm the Lucci player in this situation, this would be a turn where I first swing for 4 into the into that card. I wouldn't have swung for 5. I just wouldn't have wasted the Dawn there, because if the 4 would not have gone through, I would have swung for 6 with my leader, and that's where that 1 Dawn could have came in handy. I think that was a slight play mistake, but at the same time, I don't think the Luffy player is going to be able to protect it. Okay, I mean, he does the 2K, and now the leader can swing into it. He does a Soap Sheep and just Lucci's both. Okay, yeah, that's one way to do it, but remember, this is a 6K leader, so there you go. That's what I was trying to imply. Okay, without any knowledge of the red purple player's hand, I know I can see it, right? We can see it down there. The way that I would have done that play, sorry guys, I got to adjust my face cam just a little bit. You know, that OCD is just creeping in here. All right, good enough. What I would have done there is I would have swung for 4 into the body, because it would have either gotten the 1K Queen or the 2K Usopp, depending, or who was that? I think it was Usopp, whatever the 2K counter was. It would have got one of those two, right? Then you swing for the 5 into the same body with the leader. These are free attacks. They cost nothing from hand. And even if he did counter out of it, the Lucci player still had the cards to get rid of it in the end anyway with the Soap Sheep and the Rob Lucci combo. So it's one of those things where okay, we got to bust out the accuracy meter, guys. We got to bust it out here. If I were judging that last play by the Lucci player, I would consider that an inaccuracy. It was not necessarily a mistake or a bad play. It did get cards out of hand. But at the same time, it could have been handled a little more efficiently. I guess that's the best way that I can classify that. Really good stuff, though. Okay, it's not the end of the world. You can come back from that. We are on a 10 Dawn turn now already. What turn are we on right now for Red Purple Luffy? Turn 4. This is just, you know, insane ramp when you get if the Zoro survives and then goes into a Bon Carré. Okay, guess where we're going? Straight to 10 on the next turn. Really nice. Swing for 9, swing for 9, keep a Rad Beam counter up. I love that. I love that, because if they try to swing all in on that dragon, it's still a 2K counter, even though you don't have. Okay, this guy keeps swinging for 5. He might just be doing it to fill up his trash can, and and in this case to get -1 cost on the dragon. Okay, let's see what happens here. Swing for 6. Now, that's a good attack. And I kind of agree taking that to turn on your Rad Beam. I think that was definitely the correct... That was a good decision there. Like, a very good decision to take that. Okay, let's see what happens next. All right, just waiting on the Lucci player to make up his mind here. He's going to play out a Spandam. He's going to feed his trash more. He's going to search for a card. Looks like he picked no cards, guys. That was a whiff on Spandam. But as we know, Spandam is never a true whiff. You're still at least filling up your trash. Okay, it looks like they're actually going to be able to take out the dragon here. That is incredible, guys. That is and that was without what's his name? That was without Gecko Moria. That was just a straight up way to get it out of the way. Good stuff there, very strong. But we know the Red Purple Luffy has a lot of gas left in the tank here. He's got 2 queens. He's got the 7-cost kid. Queen shows him what he wants to see for sure in this case. Plays out the other queen. Yeah, let's just bunker down here. And like right here, smash into face. I might have not, pause. So I might have not played Nami there. I might have just sat on a Radical Beam. That's just me personally. I think I would have sat on the Radical Beam, but I don't think it's a misplay to play out Nami either. But you do only have 1K counter in hand. That is what's scary. That's what's very scary in this situation here. But you do have 2 blockers on the board. So not the worst case. Not the worst case scenario. If I'm the Lucci player, this is where like playing out Rob Lucci so carelessly. I don't want to say carelessly, but that's kind of what comes to my mind. I feel like he's played out the too many of these. Okay, so swing 6 at face here. I'm probably meeting this with a blocker right away. Okay, interesting. So I would have just given him the Nami right away. That's just what I would have done personally there. Is like, okay, you can have the Nami. I'd rather keep the body on the board, but I don't think I would have taken it. So I think that part's definitely right. So now this guy should just swing 6 again. I'm so confused. So you swung 6 with the character, and then you're going to swing 6 with the leader. I'm surprised he didn't just swing 6 with the character again and save all 10 of the Dawn in that situation. That seemed like a slight inaccuracy. Okay, so right here, he feeds the trash, use a blocker. Okay, well now, yes, I can obviously see the hand of the Red Purple Luffy player, But if my opponent gives me 2 blockers after 2 attacks for exact 6 like that, like directly on the leader's power, I'm going to keep pushing for 6s. I'm going to throw 6 in with the Rob Lucci here, and I'm probably going to throw 6 in with the Khalifa at this point. But we'll have to. It all depends on what's in the hand of the Lucci player as well, because he just cleared the board. So now the other option would be, okay, maybe he's trying to set up for a 10-cost Luffy turn. Maybe in that case I need to actually swing for 7. No, that makes no sense at all. So that was a slight inaccuracy there. There's no reason to swing for 7 in that situation. Just swing 6, and sure, he has the counter with a Nami, but it doesn't matter. I guess now he is at least going to draw a card. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, swing for 8. Now this is scary. This is where leaving the 1 Dawn active. Oh, man. Okay, so he plays out the Rebecca. That's a relief, at least there. But this is where playing out the Nami seemed a little bit too early for me. Like, I don't know if I would have done the Nami play, because having the 1 Dawn active for the Radical Beam, and then I would have 1k countered out of the first 6k attack, and I would have changed that. That's how I would have gone about that. Okay, but let's see what happens. Like I said, the game is not over. Anything can happen. And Red Purple Luffy, even though he's at 0 life, has a lot of cards in hand. Okay, there's a lot of cards in hand right now. In this situation, I'm going to pause. I do not know how this game goes, guys. I've never seen this game. I don't know who wins. I don't know who loses. In this situation, I kind of like the idea of... it doesn't matter if you go face or board, because they have Rebecca. They can just use no matter what. So it doesn't matter who you swing at as far as that goes. But I would still swing at face to be able to threaten your Diable Jambe next turn. But right here, this is a turn where I think I would have established both my Namis to get those searches off, sat on double Rad Beam, and played out a Queen. And then I would, like I said, I just swung 7 at life or something, as long as I had enough, 2 Dawn left to survive. Okay, let's see what happens here. So we're going to go up to 10, or we're going to go up to 7. 7,000 power for the turn. Top 5 search shows 3 Luffys in a row. Okay, there's the good old-fashioned engine shuffler, right? There's the sim shuffle right there. Incredible. There goes all the Luffys, but the 2k counter is way more important in this situation. Way, way more important. Yeah, I think you just go face here, because if they want to save whatever they want, they're just going to save it. And if they take this hit to face, it is an absolute play mistake to take this if it's the Lucci player. Countering out is also countering out is also a total play mistake when you have a full board and 2 of them are Rebecca's. Because in this situation, you just counter out there, and then you could play another character on the following turn because your board is completely full. That was an absolute play mistake. We got to bust out the accuracy meter. That was just a blunder. I mean, maybe a mistake is the nicest way to say it, but that was at the very least a mistake. I would actually consider that a blunder, because now what? Okay, think about the train of logic. There were 3 things that could happen there. Number 1, you counter out. Number 2, you take the hit. Or number 3, you block. Countering out of a 8,000 power attack gets bare minimum. It took 3 cards out of our hand, but it could have gotten a bare minimum of 2. Now, swinging in with the, excuse me, I got a little confused there. Blocking out is the best decision because you have a full board. So even if the plan this turn is to go all in, which I don't think it should be. I don't know what cards are in my opponent's hand. Let's at least look real quick. Hang on one second, guys. I at least need to look and see what they countered out with. So 8 and a 5 got a 2K, a 1K, and a 1K. Double Kaku. If you just use a Rebecca there, you have 2K, 1K, 1K still left in our hand. You still have 1 blocker, and now you freed up a space on the board. So again, I don't know in what world that was the right play, because even if you're going for game this turn, like if you're the Lucci player and you've decided, okay, I'm literally just going to load up 10 on a 6 and just swing for 16k, well then why didn't you use your blocker still? Like there's still not a reason to not use the blocker. Okay, and it looks like that might be what they do here. I would not be surprised if they try to just load 10 up on one of these 6s here and swing into a 7. And I've got bad news for the guy. You've got double 8k that's going to get you to 15, and then a 2k to get you out of that. And then you can only swing 1 more time, and you've got cards to get out of that. So this is just one of those situations where it's just like, oh man, mistakes were made. Big mistakes were made here, I feel like. But let's see what happens. The guy might not even try to go for game. I have no idea what they're about to try to do. Okay. So the Lucci player has a lot to think about. Let me move the accuracy meter. Sorry, guys, I got carried away. They're going to swing 8 into 7. That is just a bad attack. So again, You swing for 6, or excuse me, you swing for 7 or you swing for 9 in this situation. 8 is just like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, oh, whoops, I don't know what just happened there. I hit accuracy. There we go. You swing for 7 or 9 in that situation because one's going to get a 1 card out of the hand. Trying to get 2 out with an attack that's only 1k over is just greedy. It's just greedy. So now he's deep in the tank. It's like, well, okay, now what do I do? Right? Now what do I do? I just used 2 Dawn. So that means he's probably considering a Gecko Moria play. So he's also inadvertently, is this on 2x speed? It is. He's like inadvertently, you know, telling us his hand, right? Okay, and it was an Isho? Okay, interesting. Isho is very different. I did not expect an Isho there. I'm not going to lie. Let's see what happens here. If one attack goes through, okay, Robin, I like that. Pop one of those blockers. Swing for 9. Return a Dawn back. So that was perfect, the way that was executed, where it's like, okay, you know, using out the Robin first, that allowed you to attach a Dawn and swing for 9 at face, and then with the leader effect, get a Dawn back from the Useless Kids effect. Very nice there. So let's see what happens. We're swinging for 9. Are they going to take it? Or excuse me, they already took the 1 hit, right? Excuse me, they already blocked out of 1. Excuse me. So now we've got the leader attack. Let's see what happens. I would probably just swing for 7 here. I'm going to be honest, guys. I think I just swing for 7 here at face, or I swing for 8 into Lucci. That's the way that I'd go about this, and then set up your what's his name, your queen here. Okay, because you've lost a radical beam now because of that. Okay, and now we're just going to load up on Nami. Okay, and swing for 9. Very nice. Okay, very, very good stuff there. So like I said, I think I would have tested the waters for just swinging for 7. By the way, it would have worked because it would have gone through. And then I would have, if it would have gone through, then you load up for, you know, 11 on Nami and just clear the game out for sure. But if it did not go through, then you can, you know, drop down the queen, and it becomes tricky. You might not survive next turn, right? You know, especially against Lucci. Lucci can pop whatever he wants. But that was good stuff there. At the end, that was very nicely executed. Especially, guys, playing things out in the correct order like this, the sequencing is so important. Watch this. 10 Dawn turn. We want to get rid of one of these Rebekahs with Nico Robin. Okay, play out Nico Robin. Pop it. Attach 1 to the Eustace Kid. Swing for 9. Returning the card back to your deck that was put there from you know, activating the Eustace Kid's effect. Okay, and then you're going to bring it back with the Luffy, right? Or did they? I think they do it after this, right? They're going to, because you can use the Luffy's effect now to get that Dawn back. Okay, so let's see what happens. He's just doing it. I think he was just doing the math. So there's a 7. That's what I would have tested the waters with personally. Okay, because remember the queen would have drawn 2 and trashed 1. Okay, so right here, use the leader effect. There we go. Swing for 9. Now swing for 9 more. Very nice. That works out just fine. 2 9Ks might have been safer than a 7K and an 11K. So, like, you know, very good stuff there. Very nice. Okay, well, that's it for that game. Let me go ahead and black out the screen for just a second. Turn off the sim overlay. And now we got to talk about the meta. All right, there we go. And get this advertisement down. Move my face over. All right, we're good to go now. I'm getting used to that feature, guys. I'm getting used to that. Okay, so first up, we have to talk about what Red-Purple Law is. That is the main focus of today's video. Red-Purple Law is an extremely, extremely good deck. It's so good, in fact, that the version you're going to see today that is budget didn't even feel like a budget deck list. I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm not saying it couldn't be improved. Of course, it could be into these full versions. But, guys, we're not going to go through all the lists. I'm just going to show you guys what the list looks like on Limitless TCG so you know the price point. But look at this, guys. This is in OP-07 in the West. This is not the East. This is OP-07 in the West. I don't know why this is green, guys. It's not supposed to be. This is some type of, like, error, you know, with, see, it's Red-Purple Law. I don't know why it shows as Red-Green Law. But anyway, all of these are Red-Purple Law that you see here. Look, second place at a 500 play, almost a 450 player tournament, pretty much. Top 8 in a 460 player tournament. Second place in a 1200 player tournament. And look at all of these big placements, guys. This is clearly an S tier deck, right? Okay, now it's also good in OP-08. We'll check that out real quick just to kind of show you guys. This is OP-08 deck profile ST10 Law. And here you go, guys. It just goes on and on and on. 71 out of the 228 entries. That's about 1/3, guys. 1/3 of these results from the East from OP-08 are Red-Purple Law. Okay, that should tell you something. 1/3. And a lot of these are first place lists. Okay, Like, check this out. Bandai first place, you know. Bandai second place. 200-player tournament 3v3 first place. 500-player second place. It's just all over. 500-player first place. So we know this deck is good. Now, there is a general list that people are running, and it basically looks like this. There's a few changes here and there, and look at this price point, guys. This is fairly accurate, and this, I don't believe this is taking into consideration taxes and all that stuff. But guys, the thing that makes the list expensive is this card right here, Boncray Bentham, this card right here, Gordon, and this card down here, Queen, which is way cheaper than it used to be, which is a good thing. It's like a fly in here, guys. I'm sorry. Reju's another one where it's like, where is Reju at? Here it is, Vinsmoke Reju. This one has gone down in price, but it's still relatively expensive, especially for a newer player. However, here is the list that I recommend. Actually, let me just read through the list real quick, and then I'll tell you the one I recommend. And this one is running 1 Fire Fist, which is interesting, probably over the last Gordon or something. I don't know. Anyway, so they're running 4 Gordon, 3 Raise Max, 2 Otamas, 4 Zoro Juro, 4 Shiraya, 4 Ein, 4 Shashin Penguin, 4 Vinsmoke Reju, 4 Kid and Killer, 4 Mr. 2 Boncray Bentham, 4 Eustace Kid, 3 Queen, 2 Miss All Sunday, and 3 Sanjis. Now, this is the list that I recommend that you're going to see me play today in 3 games on the sim. Okay? This is it. Check it out. F11. Let me just bring this up so it looks better. This is the list right here, guys. Let me bring up Queen real quick just to kind of show on the side, because we will be looking at that in a minute. This list is only $86. I replaced Gordon with Fire Fist entirely. I went down to 2 Kid and Killers because this card is actually relatively expensive at $4. It's not too bad, but it's a little expensive for what it is, being a rare, but it is very good. It's an easy upgrade to the deck. I basically swapped the numbers. A lot of lists you'll see running 4 Kid and Killers and like 2 Zoros, or even just 1 Zoro. I basically swapped it where it's like, okay, well, because it's a budget deck, we're going to have to go with 4 Zoros and 2 Kid and Killers. I'm only running 2 of this card, Eustace Kid, because it is a $5 card. Trying to keep it budget, right? Reiju, I do, even though it is a $7 card, it is the most expensive card we're running in this version of the list. I feel like it is an absolute must-have 4 of, because of what it does. It is a draw 2 card in this deck. It is the one card you have to kind of splurge on, you have to kind of go over the top with, and you have to get this as a 4 of. I would say Queen is very similar once you get into OP-08. I think it's absolutely necessary to run this card. But notice the price, guys, $13 on this one. Queen will be your first upgrade, in my personal opinion. Okay, I think Queen is a really good first upgrade if you're trying to play this list. Some other upgrades is going up to 2 more Eustace Kids. And actually, your first upgrade might want to be to just get the 4 Kid and Killers. This is probably the first major, extra to put into it. Or even if you just want to do, like, watch this. If I go down 2 Zoros and go up 2 of the Kid and Killers, the list is still under $91. And again, that's before shipping and handling. Taxes, shipping and handling, that's on you guys. I don't know how to configure all that. But when it comes to the list, that's the first thing I would try to upgrade is the Kid and Killers. And then from there, you might want to go down some Shirayas and go up these Eustace Kids. But now look how close we're getting to $100. See that number keeps getting closer and closer to $100, right? Again, let me go back down to where we had it and go to here and here. But this is the list I recommend as a budget build. Now, let's go ahead and dive into the games, and we'll talk about it, how it still functions very much the same. This list functions very, very much the same as the original list, like the one we just looked at on this site here, or on the other part of the site here. This is the fully decked out versions with 4 Gordons, with 4 of the Boncray Mr. 2 Benthams. Guys, we're just running Beppo over this card. Like we swapped out our Mr. 2s for Beppo. We swapped out our Gordons for 4 of these Fire Fist. Because notice, they're running 3 Raise Max. We're running 4. They're running 4 Gordons. We're running 4 Fire Fist. Right? You see how it's pretty much a direct translation, right? We are running the Zoros, so are they. We're running 4 Otamas because it does help with the power reduction. We're running the 4 Reijus. We're only running 2 of the Kid and Killers and running 4 of the, what's his name? The Zoros. The Eustace Kids, we're only putting in 2. The Queen is the one card, like I said, we're basically running Shiraya for like the Queens that are missing and the Eustace Kids that are missing. Miss All Sunday is an option. I don't think I'm running any in the list that we're playing today. Yeah, we're not running any in this list, but that is an option as well. So if you have those just laying around, that is a solid card. This card right here, Miss All Sunday, Very solid card. And then Sanji is a 2K counter. This one's not that expensive, actually, if you look at it. It's around $5, so that will be a nice upgrade to the list as well, as soon as you can afford it, right? So, okay. So that's that. Let me go ahead and go back to where we were, and let's check out some games on the sim now. Let's put this deck right here. Let's put this deck to the test. This is an $87 list. And for the people who might be thinking like, yeah, well, you're about to play against random players on the sim. It's like, yeah, but think about it. You're going to be going to a local with this. So you're probably not playing against like nothing but regional level players. You're going to be playing against local players who might not have all the cards in their deck either, right? So you do have to take everything into consideration. And I'm not saying it's a perfect example. I'm just trying to show that there is some correlation there, like, or there is some way to kind of see how it works. Okay, or how it could work, I guess is a better way to say it. Okay, now anyway, volume off, speed 2x, and here we go. First game here is going to be against a blue-yellow ace. I mulligan the first hand, and look at that hand, guys. Like that is not a bad hand. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not a bad hand at all. And then I go ahead and take this first hit of 7. Ace is pretty good, guys. At the time of recording this video, I was watching an Eggman video earlier today. I think it came out just a little, like 4 or 5 hours ago at the time of recording this, where a blue-yellow ace deck got top 32 at a recent regional tournament. So that, you know, blue-yellow ace is not exactly like a joke matchup. It's actually it's deceptively good. Okay, right here though, I'm gonna put the heat on him here. I'm gonna go 5 in the face, 6 in the face. He's down to 2. I'm gonna return 3, use my leader's effect here, cheat out the Shashin Penguin to get another body on the board and go up 2 Dawn. So I'm at 3 Dawn now. That's not too bad. Building the deck like this will help you learn how to play it too. If you're a newer player, like watching this, guys, and you're trying to build Red Purple Law on a budget, if you build it in this way, this will help you learn how to play the deck, even if you have it fully assembled in the final version. Okay, so let's see what Ace does here. What this leader tries to do is attach 2 Dawn to the leader and put a card on life, which is what it just did. It put the ace on top of life with the leader effect. Now they're going to play out the 2-cost body and cheat it into play for free, and giving the leader plus 2,000 power until the start of their next turn. Massive. They're going to swing 7 into my Zoro. I'm just going to let it go. It did its job. And now it's time. Now remember, guys, my opponent's leader is at 7,000 power. So this is a pure development turn right here, right, guys? I'll swing 7 with the leader. I play out the Shariah. And right here, I'm going to return 3 more. I'm going to play out another Shashin Penguin. Because, guys, remember, excuse me, especially for the newer players, you can use just one of Red Purple Law's effects. You don't have to use both. So if you Dawn -3, you can bottom deck a character that costs 7,000 power, or that has 7,000, or good night, guys. You can bottom deck a character that has 3,000 power or less, or you can play out a character that has a cost of 4 or less from your hand. You can choose to do both, or one or the other, is what I'm trying to say there. I'm sorry that was super clumsy, guys, but that is what you can do with it. Okay, and we will talk about the leader effect. I kind of skipped over that when we were going over those cards earlier. We'll talk about that when we get to at the end. So he hits me with a Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger. That feels absolutely terrible. He's going to swing for 6 at life. I'm going to 2K counter out. Okay, very straightforward play here. I'm trying to save my Fire Fist for when he plays out a 7K power Rush Ace, but he just won't play it out. I'm like, okay. So right here, I go ahead. Okay, I was going to say, I think I'm going to play out Zoro here, swing 6 more into him, because I am demolishing his hand. Like, I'm just devouring his hand. He actually takes it. I didn't expect him to actually take that, but I return 3 Dawn, play out a Beppo. So this is a great deck for new players to kind of mess with, to understand how Dawn manipulation works in this game, how Purple, like, returns Dawn cards to do special effects. Okay, and right here, he's going to actually... That is nice. That is a really nice interaction for Blue-Yellow Ace, where they put a card from their life into the top, or from the top of their deck into their life, and if they can't play it into the field, well, why don't you just throw it away with an effect like Sabo? That was really nice play by my opponent. Okay, so right here, it's like, well, what do I do here? I've got a few options. I'd really like to draw first to see what all options I have. So I'm going to swing 5 at face here. I'm going to swing 5 more at face, and then I'm going to Fire Fist this guy, Dawn -3 leader effect for bottom deck, and play out a 4-cost 5K character. Yes, it was a 2K counter, but at the same time, I need to play out something to keep the pressure on my opponent, or I'm going to lose, right? Because once it gets to a certain point in the game, they can just rush you down. Now, luckily, I have 2K in hand, so I'm feeling just fine. If I remember this game correctly, something funny is about to happen, and my opponent did something very, it was very honorable what they did coming up here. We'll talk about it as we get to it, though. Really honorable play, like I said, but we'll talk about it as we get to it. So they swing 7 there. They use that. Now watch this, guys. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to go for a game here. And I mess up with a thing here. So look what, so, okay, let me explain what just happened. I swung 7 with my leader, right? I think it was 7. Let me go back real quick. Oops, there we go. Play. So I swung 7 with leader, right? Or it was 8. Excuse me. It was swing 8 with leader. It was swing 8 with the leader. And then I did my leader effect, and I double-clicked on the part where it said choose 0 enemies. And that made it where I couldn't play my Kid and Killer from hand to swing for 9 and finish the game. So then I typed to my opponent, whoops, because, oh well, I guess I lose, right? And they say, oh, did you have Kid and Killer? And watch this. I said yes. So they conceded to see if I had it, and then they actually left. But here's the interesting thing, guys. Even with okay, listen to how this game was. If he had swung for 5 at face and then played out both of these aces to swing for 7 more and 7 more, I still can win the game because I have 2K, 2K, 1K in hand. So even if he went all in that turn, I could just swing in the next turn and just win in that way. You know what I'm saying? So it was nice of him to actually save that part of it from, messing up that double click. Like I said, sometimes you get excited when you're playing computer games, right? And I just like double clicked really fast. Because, I was like, oh, I got the game in the bag. I won. I felt like I outplayed my opponent. And it was like, I double-clicked, and it was like, choose 0 enemies, choose 0 friendlies. And it was just like, oh. So I just returned 3 Dawn for no reason at all. It was just a total blunder. But my opponent asked, they said, oh, did you have Kid and Killer? I said, yeah. They conceded. They saw, when you concede, you can see your opponent's hand, and then they dipped out. So good game to my opponent on that one, and I appreciate them, at least, saving us the time and effort there of going through all the steps to come back from that. Okay, next game we got against Enel. But yeah, big shout out to that opponent, man. What a good guy. All right, so speed 2x. Here we go. This is versus Enel, guys. Blue-yellow ace is not a joke matchup, even though some people might think it is. But Enel is definitely not a joke. This has been winning quite a few tournaments. This Enel deck. Maybe not this exact Enel deck, but Enel and OP-07 has been very, very strong so far. Well, the best way to beat Enel is to go as wide as you can. You need to take life down to 2. It's very important. I might counter out of here, but that was not the right play. I should have took it down to 2, and then he can't pop any of my stuff with something like a Gadatsu. But if he had Gadatsu, he would have played it that turn, so that's probably why I did that. Okay, massive advantage for Red-Purple Law into Enel is the card I just played, guys. 4-cost Trafalgar Law Blocker. Dawn -1. If your opponent has 7 or more cards in hand, they trash 2 cards at random. They don't get to choose the card. Very, very powerful effect. I'm going to swing 5 and drop him down to 2. I'm going to swing 6 and drop him down to 1. I'm fine. I'm fine with it. Play out my Beppo to give me some Dawn here. And then, okay, he's going to swing 6. I'm not letting him have that. He's going to play out a 7-cost character. Let's see what he gets. Probably Big Mom or Enel. Those are the only 2 options. It's Enel. That was definitely the better of the 2. Because if that was... So I can't survive. I can't protect it. I'm thinking about blocking out here with my blocker, but I'd rather keep the bigger body. Pause. If he had played out a 7-cost Lin, I would have gladly taken that hit. Like, I would have lost 1 life card, and I would have just gone everything at my opponent's face here. But he got the Enel. It is what it is. But hey, it's not over yet. Let's see what happens here. So I've got a lot of options. Here, but -4 to this guy, and now I can start beating in. So I'm checking my Dawn, and I have 5, and my opponent has 7. I'm seeing if I can swing and gain a Dawn with my Beppo. 5 into 3. Hey, you want to counter out? That's a 5 into 3. You know what I mean? And if he doesn't, do you want to save it by trashing a life? Perfect. Okay, I'm still in a good position here. I'm going to swing for 5. If he counters out, I won't swing with my leader, and I'll sit on my blocker. Okay, let's see what he does. He counters out, so now I am going to swing for 5 there. And then, or excuse me, he did counter out. I don't know why I swung with my leader. Oh, because he hadn't taken the life. Okay, I got a little confused there. I'm sorry, guys. So real quick, it was kind of greedy swinging for 5 there because I didn't want to swing my blocker anyway. But if he had not countered out, then I could have swung for 8 with my blocker, and I could have eaten up a bunch of cards from his hand. So I guess that did make sense looking back at it. Very good. 6 into 5. I'm not letting you have that. He plays out the He put the Zoro Juro back into my life. I guess so I couldn't get Dawn cards active. That does make a little bit of sense. I could swing bigger with that. But I think Beppo might have been the better target because I think they're well, I don't know. They're roughly the same, like if you think about it, but it's still a little bit different. That makes sense. Okay, so maybe the Zoro was the best target there. But right here, guys, it's like, well, I'll tell you what, dude, I'm going to swing for 5 a bunch of times. Oh, and a 5 went through? Okay, that's really bad news. Now, he did get lucky. He got the 2-cost Nami trigger to pop one of my 5-or-less characters, pops my Trafalgar Law. And I'm like, okay, well, I've got a Rush Zoro in hand, so what we're going to do here is probably 5, 5, 6, 7. I think that's the route to victory here. Or 6, 6, 7 or something. Let's see. Okay, actually 3 6s. You know, 6, 6, 6, 7. Okay, Dawn -3 there. Play that out. Do this. Swing 7. And he was able to counter out of it. But, guys, I have 4. Okay, pause. He surrendered. I have 4 characters on the board. I have 4 life. He has 0 life. I only have a 1k counter in hand. That doesn't matter. But notice what's in his hand. He can't use the Flampe to draw a card because he has no life to draw. He has a Luffy in hand. Yeah, he can pop a character, but how does he survive my attack next turn for like 15 or 16? You know, well, actually, I didn't have 10 Dawn because of my leader effects, but I'd be able to swing for like 9 or 10 with my leader. So what I'm saying is, even if he got rid of my entire board, it just doesn't matter. I can still swing through for lethal. The way to beat Enel is go wide as you can. You don't want to swing for these massive numbers. A 5k attack is going to get a response out of hand, or they're going to, you know, take life. So that's what I recommend. Okay, last game. Make sure I click on the right one here. Okay, and this one is against Red Green Oden. And hey, this was a spicy Oden list, guys. We're going to talk about this a little bit. We're going to talk about this. Let me put on 2x speed before I take my glasses off. Volume is off. 2x speed. Here we go. Red Green Oden. Excuse me. So this leader, guys, I am a big fan of Red Green Oden. I've expressed that multiple times. If you're looking for the absolute most budget list in the entire format, in the entire game right now, it's probably Red Green Oden. And it's actually a decent list with solid upgrades where you could take it from like a $40 local list that can do well at a locals. Let me pause. Sorry, guys. A $40 list that can actually do well at locals, and then push it into like a $200 list you can actually take to a regional. Because I think in OP-06.5 there was a top 64 Red Green Oden list, guys. Like this is not as bad a leader as some people think. Okay, so here we go. I bottom decked his Momonosuke with my leader, playing out a 3-cost Zoro Juro, and then cheating out an Ein. Now that might seem very greedy. I'm on 1 Dawn. My opponent is on 4. But I'm not too worried about it because I'm going to gain a Dawn with Zoro. Because I will say this, I know from experience that this list here with what's his name, with Oden, it does not really run removal. Okay, but this list does run removal, by the way. I did not know. This guy had some pretty spicy tech cards in here that are really interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to swing 4 into 6 just to ramp a Dawn. It's for no other reason. There's no other reason I did that. I just want to get my Dawn back. But he was already at 7 cards. I play out my 4-cost Kid. Dawn, or 4-cost Law, excuse me. Dawn -1. He has to trash 2 cards at random. I've got a blocker. I've got a 4-cost 5k, another 4-cost 5k blocker. My leader. I'm good to go. I've got 3 life and everything, so I'm good. I've got my leader, right, guys? Yep. You sure do have your leader. Kind of hard to not have that. I did not want to use my leader effect that turn. That's where I was going with that. Because, okay, yes, I could play out Beppo, but he's going to swing in. He's going to get my, what's his name this turn? He's going to get my Zoro. I can't really stop that. Because he could swing like 6 with, or 7 with leader, right? By attaching 1 Dawn, he'll swing for 7 with leader. Just swings for 5. That's interesting. I'm like, well, okay. I mean, I guess I will save him from that. Swing for 5, and I'll give you my blocker. It's like, that was a strange play to me, and they left 5 open. Or 6. They left 6 Dawn open. Something's not right. Right? Like, right away, something's clearly not okay. Something is not right here. So I'm like, okay, I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to pop my characters with certain effects here. There's just no other option. There's just simply no other option. So I'm going to swing with a card to get value out of it first that needs to get one attacking value. Boom. The Zoro already paid for itself. Now let's see what they had in mind. Let's see these tricks they had in mind. Okay. So right here, they used Green Star Rafflesia to -2,000, my Ein. Then they used a Red Hawk to KO a 4,000 power or less character, which was my Ein, thanks to that Green Star. And now he goes up to 9k to get out of the attack from the that. And then he hits me with a you could never defeat me, or whatever it's called. You'll never be able to defeat me. The Luffy card, that's a 3-cost counter that pops a 6,000 power or less character, and it goes off their original power. So really, really strong. But that wasn't, that was less than ideal, right, for me. But that was a little bit, I'm just going to say this, excuse me, while that was cute, that took 3 cards out of their hand to take out my 2 characters, and it didn't necessarily slow me down that much, right? They weren't like the most important characters. But a very cool idea. Maybe in the future there's going to be a better synergy or a better interaction for that. Okay, so use my leader effect here. I'm going to cheat out the Beppo, gain another Dawn. Beppo, Shashian Penguin, and Ein are all about keeping your Dawn good, and same thing with that Zoro Juro. It's all about keeping your Dawn in play while using your leader effect. It's very, very important. And you don't ever want to get too low on your Dawn. That's just too dangerous. Okay, so it looks like he's ready to start swinging again. It's going to be 8, or excuse me, swing for 9. Probably just going to take this. Yep, swing for 9 more. Probably just going to take this. It is what it is. And let's see what happens here. I'm in a less than ideal situation. We'll go -2 to your Ezo, -2 more to your Ezo. Since I have 3 Otamas in hand, why not? I don't have any max raises or Fire Fist, unfortunately. Okay, pause. I put Fire Fist in this deck literally to deal with 7,000 power characters, but then you just don't see it. Yeah, it's just unlucky. It happens. Excuse me. So I bottom deck it with the leader effect, cheat out the Beppo. I hard cast a Trafalgar Law blocker. All it's meant to do is block. It's not meant to do anything else. I swing 5 into 6 just to ramp a Dawn. He shouldn't counter out with this. If he counters out, it will be a mistake. Oh, Knight. Okay, well, that was nice. He left 3 Dawn open. I guess I should have paid attention, and he popped me with that card. Let me see what it's called. Hopefully I mouse over it. I think it's called You'll Never Defeat Me or something like that. Okay, he untaps and plays out Dragon. This is less than ideal. I have to get out of this attack, and then he's going to add 1 Dawn there, smash into Beppo. You can have Beppo. Now, in this situation, I do get a very nice top deck. I get a very nice top deck here. My plan is to try to go for game, but I have to do things a little bit differently. Swing 7 into 5. Let's see what he gives me. 2K, 1K. Okay. Let's do it again and see what he gives me. 7K into 5. He'll probably take this life. Very nice. I'll swing 7 into 5. And then if he takes this, now hear me out for a second. I don't know what was in his hand, but he should have probably taken this. Okay, it was a 2K, 2K. Real quick, guys. He should have absolutely, positively, 1,000,000% taken this. We're going to bring up the accuracy meter here. Do I have it over here? Where is it? Right here. That was a mistake. Because so here's what I was going to do. If he takes that, he goes down to 0 life. I'm going to cheat out Kid and Killer and swing for 8. Notice how I have 1 Dawn left, and I'm going to swing for 8. Well, he had enough to get out of it. So that's why it's important to do your math and to calculate, like, bait me into thinking I can win when I actually couldn't win. You see what I'm saying? You need to bait me into thinking I can win. And we both made mistakes this game, like me playing out the Trafalgar Law there before attacking. That was a mistake because he actually was able to pop that blocker that I really needed to get through this game. But it is what it is. Let me go ahead and remove the accuracy meter. So watch what happens. So now that I see he's done a 2K, 2K, I know he doesn't have a 1K. Do you understand? So I'm going to -2,000 to the Dragon. I'm going to cheat out the Kin Killer, and I'm going to pop his Dragon. Now, I was only able to do that because he gave me information. Because he should have 2K, 1K'd out of the attack from my Red-Purple Law leader. Telling me you don't have a 1K in hand meant that I was going to be able to pop the Dragon. Now, there was a chance he was holding all 3 2K counters, but I seriously doubted that. You know what I mean? Like, I was very, very doubtful that was the situation. That was the case. He swings 12 into that. I cannot survive, but now it's basically over, right? There's pretty much no way to survive now. We're going to swing for 7. Okay, we're going to swing for 5, get 1 more card out of hand, just in case he has some crazy shenanigans with the events again. He didn't. He only had a 2K, and GG. That was a really good game. That was a fun one. This was a really spicy red-green Oden list. But we did there were 2 major mistakes I do want to point to real quick. The first one was actually right when he popped my this turn right here. So in this turn right here, I got to go back a little further. I should have basically swung first. That was what I should have done first. Then I could do the play we're about to see right here, where I go ahead and, you know, Dawn -3 and all that stuff to remove this card, play this out. Proper sequencing, guys. I talk about it all the time. But here I was thinking, okay, I was like, okay, I'm not actually swinging at this guy because he's at 6k. He's just going to let the attack go through. It doesn't matter. If you attack, counters can be used. You can use a counter even if your power is over the attackers as the defender, right? And in this situation, he went ahead and used this opportunity since he had 3 Dawn open to pop my blocker. So that was an error on my part. That was absolutely, let's bring out the chess meter. That was absolutely a mistake. It wasn't necessarily maybe a blunder, even though you might classify it as a blunder. It was definitely at least a mistake and maybe arguably a blunder because it could have cost me the game. It could have cost me the game in the long run. Okay, good stuff. And then we know how it goes. And then from here, like I said, the final thing where my opponent messed up, he had the game in the bag right here, is I'm swinging for 7 into 5. He knows I'm about to play out Kid and Killer. That's why I left 1 Dawn active. He knew what I was going for. Okay, but watch what he counters out with. 2k to get to 9 when you had 1 life left. It's like, dude, first of all, your last life might have been another 2k counter. But even if it wasn't, you had enough to get out of a Kid and Killer attack with the 1 Dawn left over. Giving me the information like that allowed me to smash into Dragon. But good game either way. And then we know how that goes. I minus 2,000 with Otama, use leader effect, smash in for 7. Good game. Okay, well that was that, guys. Let's go ahead and check out the actual list here. Move the accuracy meter. Whoops. There we go. Move my face over here. And here we go. We're good to go. So this is the list. This is the list I was just using. It is as budget as it gets. We didn't even see me get a Eustace Captain Kidd. These Trafalgar Laws really pull their weight, guys. It is rare that I don't want to see a Trafalgar Law. So this might be a card you want to go up to 4 of. Like as you can start replacing Shariahs in the list, the cards you're going to want to go up is maybe 1 more Law, maybe 2 more Eustace Captain Kidds, and maybe 1 or 2 Queens as you can afford those. Because that's kind of how it goes, guys. In this list right here, these 4 Shariahs are whatever combination of blockers you want to go. Like if you want to go 2 Queens, 3 Captain Kidds, and 3 Trafalgar Laws, go ahead. If you want to go 2, 2, and 2 of everything, that's fine too. Like 2 Shariahs, 2 Laws, 2 Captain Kidds, and 2 Queens, do that. Or even Chopper. Chopper's another really good blocker. If you have that card, let me bring up Chopper real quick. Red Chopper. This card right here. These others are not really... This doesn't even come out till OP-08. This card, I guess, is decent, but this is the card I was talking about. This is a great card into the mirror as well, where it's like they have to answer it, or you start getting, insane value with your leader. You swing for 6 at something, you minus 3,000 power to something else, and then you bottom deck it with your leader, cheating out other cards, blah, blah, blah. The Zoros are directly... these are completely the same as the Kid and Killers in this list. So as you can afford more and more Kid and Killers, you replace the Zoros with those, right? So Zoro becomes Kid and Killer. Shariahs become Trafalgar Laws, Captain Kidds, or Zoro, or Queen, or Choppers. What else? Where is... I have Ein. So Beppo, some people would argue that Bon Cray Bentham is better than Beppo. I personally don't believe that. That's just me. That's just how I feel about it. It depends on your play style. Excuse me. It depends on your play style. It depends on how you play the game. But this card is a lot of people run this card in the place of it. Okay, it might be no. It's Bon. They called him Clay. Bon Clay in the sim. Well, guys, it's starting to thunder out there. I got to wrap this video up. I don't want to lose power. But okay, Mr. 2, Bon Clay Bentham. It's Bon Caray is the correct name for him, I believe. Or the correct translation, I mean. This card, a lot of people swear by. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. I guess with all the Bonnies and Enels running around, I guess this card is actually very good. But in the mirror match, this card is way worse than Beppo, at least in my personal opinion. Some people might disagree with that as well, because he for sure gets you a Dawn, whereas Beppo only gets you a Dawn if you go under your opponent's Dawn. Okay, and then last but not least, of course, everything else... Oh, excuse me. This 2k counter becomes... hang on, let me go to Sanji. This 2k counter right here, Kamazo, becomes Sanji, as you can afford them. These are like $5 or $6 a card right now, I believe. And, everything's subject to change with the market, but y'all know what I mean. And then last but not least is this card right here, Gordon. It's this one, not the 2k counter, the promo Gordon, this one right here. It says P013 at the bottom right. It's this Gordon. That gives the character minus 3,000 power for the turn. This is my Fire Fist, okay? Fire Fist is technically better against 7,000 power characters. So there is an argument there to still run Fire Fist anyway. But just so you understand, this card is a promo card, and it's like $20 a card last time I checked. Way too expensive. 4 of these cost as much as every card you see on the screen right here, added together. So it's one of those situations where it's like, yeah, sure, if you want to buy these, go ahead. But let me give everybody another heads up too. At the time of me recording this video, in about 1 month, on August, it's July 15th. On August 12th, they're going to be making a bans and restriction list. I don't know what's going to be on there, but a lot of people are speculating that this card might be on there. And I'm only saying that so that way you don't buy this card and be like, oh man, it's getting banned after 1 week of me having it. Or, 1 month of me having it. I'm trying to warn everybody. I'm trying to be upfront, trying to be transparent, just trying to help out. All right, guys, that's it. This is the list. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. This is a solid deck, guys. This leader is extremely powerful. If you're not, yes, there are things that can be improved in this list, but hey, is that really a bad thing? And if you want to know what they are, just go to those websites we were looking at. Just go to onepiecetopdecks.com, sort by red, purple, law, and just build any of these. Here's a first place deck list. Well, this is from OP-08. Let me go at least to OP-07 where we are in the West. You hop on onepiecetopdecks.com, go to deck list, go to the West area, or to the West, version. And here you go. You could just copy paste whatever list you want to run. And look at this. Like I said, I think this is the one we were looking at. This one's running the 1 Fire Fist and 2 Missile Sundays. That's another card you can start messing with. And this would kind of take the place of maybe, well, this one's running for the Benthams. So the thing about Missile Sunday, guys, I need to read this card real quick for y'all. It's a 5 cost 5K. It has no counter, but it has a trigger. Dawn -2, play this card. On play, add up to 1 Rested Dawn card to your cost area, and if you have 6 or more Dawn, draw a card. So it can be used as a ramp card or a tempo card if it comes out of your life. Draws you a card, and it gives you a Dawn back, even if you Dawn -2 from the trigger. One more thing I want to mention, I didn't mention it in the actual intro, and I will link my other videos on Red Purple Trafalgar Law if people are interested in taking this deck to the next level. If you're a new player, you just want to build it out and know what I think about it, I'll link that in the comment section below. But this is the leader, guys. He's a 5,000 power, 4 life leader. Activate main once per turn. Dawn -3. Place up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less at the bottom of the owner's deck, and play up to 1 character card with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. So you're bottom decking an opponent's 3,000 power character, and you're playing a 4 cost character. That's why we're running these cards to do -3,000 power, and that's why every card in the deck can be played from your hand at 4 cost or lower, outside of Queen and Captain Kidd. Even Sanji can be played from your hand, because if you have 2 or more fewer Dawn than your opponent, very confusing, read it again. If you have 2 or more fewer Dawn cards than your opponent in your hand, this card costs 3 less in your hand. So you can even cheat this out, potentially. Missile Sunday, you can't cheat out either, though. But yeah, so other than these 3 5-cost characters, Queen, Kidd, and Missile Sunday, you can cheat out any other card from your hand, potentially. So something to take into consideration. And you're going to lower their cost with cards like Raise Max, Gordon, Otama, or Fire Fist. And then you're going to be able to, bottom deck these characters. And bottom decking is extremely powerful in this game, guys. Okay, that's enough of that. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please put them in the comment section below so I can answer it. I love answering questions. Okay, now again, like I said, it's starting to thunder outside, and I really don't want to lose power when I'm this deep into the video. I do these in one take, guys. Let's go ahead and do the art critique on Trafalgar Law. This is promo 009. This is a promo Law. Really cool looking card, guys. The promos have really good art. I might start messing around with those, but let's go ahead and mess with this a little bit here. Let me bust out the green, and let's talk about the composition. We have very much the backwards S is what I call it. It's this right here, this backwards S, where it's very much a yin and yang type of idea. Okay, you've got the sword up here. Now the side down here is actually very blank, but it's separating the entire canvas, right? It's used as a way to separate the canvas and make the composition interesting, make the picture interesting. Like I said, up here we've got Trafalgar Law, and down here it would have been really cool. Okay, there's one thing that I don't like to critique these or anything bad, and I understand this entire effect is coming from the orb in his hand, right? There's an orb right here in his hand. I wish there was a way to get that further down, and you can tell the artist tried to do that. Look how the hand is, guys. Notice the hand. Let me grab this right here. We'll do this, make it green. Actually, we'll make it red so it pops, and then I'm just going to rotate it. Notice the hand here, guys. They're trying to pull it down as best they can and make the composition more balanced, which is great, right? It shows us the actual back side of his hand, and that awesome tattoo that says death, and that cool little symbol he has. It's a very well done piece. It's a very well done piece. I love the clouds in the background as well. Let's go ahead and look at a few other things. Whoopsies. Okay, Love the mountains in the background. Love the moon. Love the clouds. I like when we can see more of the background, and I wish there was more stuff down here and over here in the background that we could see. But unfortunately, you know, it just can't be seen unless it was maybe a bigger piece. The artist could have done more with it. Now, one thing that is nice with the composition, because again, let me just take the line tool here, and we'll just cut this piece in half, like kind of from where I was saying that this orb, this like special power, like whatever Law's special power is called, it cuts the piece in half. And on this side, we've got the cape going up. Like you see how, you know, how do I say it? Let me, where's the shapes? Let me change this to a green. Okay, and when we flip it, like on this side, you see like this is him with his sword, his head, and his cape is shooting up into the wind. But then when we flip it around, okay, let me do it like that. I guess I have to do both. Yeah. When you flip it around, he's very grounded. That's where his legs are and his torso, the bottom part of his torso, he's very well grounded. So it's nice. You have the air up here, the ground down here. It's cut in half by the special power that he has. He's got the sword in one hand. He's got the orb of, you know, this powerful ability he has in the other hand. Just an incredible piece. And I really love that kimono look. It just looks so nice. I figured it would be appropriate, you know, to cover a Law picture today since we were going over Red Purple Law. Right, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Let me go ahead and get the patrons page up here real quick. Big shout out to everybody who supports me. I do have playmats left. Thank you to everybody who supports the channel and buys playmats, and a big thank you to all the VV Pirates patron page people. Okay, they had to do the triple P alliteration today. But thank you guys so much. Thank you to everybody who just watches my channel, likes, subscribes, shares, views it, comments, everything. Like, if you're doing any of that, you're helping me out. I really appreciate it. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please put them in the comment section below. I answer them as fast as I can, guys. I'm pretty good about answering comments in the comment section. And I hope this really helped out any new players who are getting into the game, or any players who just want to build Red Purple Law on a budget and give it a try to locals. So yeah, and if you guys can, you know, like I said, if you guys have any other suggestions about cards that I might have missed, by all means add it in the comment section below. All right, that's it. Appreciate you guys. Hope you all enjoyed, and until next time, peace.